Hey everyone, Kaylee, your friendly neighborhood hairstylist here, and today I'm going to show you 5 different ways you can use a flat iron. So if you guys have followed me for a little bit, you know that I went from long hair to short hair and then even shorter hair more recently. So my hairstyling habits have changed a bit. And by changed a bit, I mean I went from team curling iron to team flat iron in what feels like 0.5 seconds. I don't know who I am anymore. But I've been learning a lot of different ways to utilize my flat iron to get different textures in my hair. But I thought, let's call out to like old school Kayley Melissa and pull out a braid encyclopedia moment, but with a flat iron and how to curl your hair, / straighten, / wave, / all the things. So we're obviously gonna be focusing on the methods and tips and tricks, but I did wanna call out our sponsor for today's video, which is CVS and their new line, GSQ by Glam Squad. I picked this video to work with them on because I actually bought this flat iron right after I cut my hair, and it's what I've been using to learn some of my new techniques on my hair. So I was already gonna be using it for this video. I thought we might as well mention everything else anyway. So CVS, we know they're a great place to go for your beauty products, from established drugstore favorite lines to totally new lines like K-Beauty and GSQ by Glam Squad. The GSQ line has a bunch of products you can use throughout your daily routine, like hair tools, hair care, brushes, clips, makeup sponges, manicure kits. They've got a bunch of stuff and it's all very beautiful and adorable, and I'm into it. I'm gonna show you some of my favorite products as we go throughout. As always, this is stuff that I actually love and would actually use, but I'm very excited that I get to work with a brand that I love along the way. So that being said, let's get into it. Hello, I am here with my poofy hair. This is going to be a staple throughout the video. And I thought it would be nice to get started with just a nice, sleek, shiny, straight look. Keeping it simple for the first one. So our hero for this video is going to be the Glam Squad straightener. Now I have already been using mine, but this is the box that it comes in. This is what you're looking for. This has a lot of stuff going for it. It has titanium plates. They are floating, they are beveled. I like the width of this because you can create nice curls and straight looks very easily. It's very maneuverable in the hair, obviously because we're using it 5 different ways. So if you're looking for a drugstore flat iron, I like this one a lot. The next thing you'll be seeing in every hairstyle is the Glam Squad Heat Protectant. This protects from the heat and controls frizz, and I've noticed that it also gives the hair like a pretty little luster to it, just in my personal experience, and I quite like it. So let's go ahead and use that. Pump it out into your hand, and then you work it through your hair. And now, to straighten the hair. Gonna be using these cute little sectioning clips to clip my hair up so that we get just the nape section of the hair first. And then before I use the flat iron, I'm gonna go through with this boar bristle round brush. This is gonna help to make sure all the hair is brushed straight so that when you put it through the iron, it irons straight. You always wanna make sure that you do that, because if the hair is tangled or if it goes in crooked at all, it's gonna be ironed into that shape, which we don't want, especially if you're going for like a pin, straight, shiny look. And the boar bristles are extra nice because they just grab onto each little hair and get it extra straight. And then this will be really nice later when we try to brush through the hair and smooth everything. But that's gonna come a little later. First, you're just gonna put your iron in and straighten. Now here's the deal. For me, I don't love it pin straight all the way down. Maybe if my hair was either shorter or longer, but right now what I'm loving is just at the end, you turn the iron maybe 20 degrees and you just get a little bump like that. That's all. And now we let down the next section, and you wanna go in smaller sections for straightening the hair, because that way you can get into the root better each time and you'll get it flatter and sleeker each time you do as well. So this is where my part line is right now. I'm just gonna go one finger. So you could go in bigger sections and everything like that, and it might be okay, but more than likely you're gonna end up going back and finding pieces that didn't get hit or that are still a little kinked, and you have to go back in and keep touching up. Whereas if you go in smaller sections, you don't have to touch it back up, and the end result's gonna be really pretty. Okay, so we brush and we straighten. Get your flat iron up nice and close to the root, straighten down, and then little curve at the bottom, and that's it. And now we do it again. Another great thing you can do with the comb or with the brush as well is to have the brush on the hair before the flat iron. So it is kind of like traffic directing the hair to all go straight and be pretty on the iron. So again, we're not ironing any bends or kinks into the hair. And around my hairline, you're gonna see it more on some of my other pieces, but my hair naturally likes to grow back like this, and it's not as flattering, in my opinion, for me. So what I like to do is brush it forward and then flat iron it slightly forward. So basically I'm fighting that cowlick. And we're doing it again. I love sweaters because you can just stick hair clips into them. And look, just like that, we're almost to the end. Why don't we just roll with this? I'm a sucker for your swagger, only Tuesday nights of Vegas. So for this, on these front pieces, I'm just gonna pull them in front of my face a little bit. So that when I straighten them, they're a little bit more framing. And now we are pretty sleek and smooth, if I do say so myself. But we can get sleeker and smoother, just a little bit. I'm gonna grab this Glam Squad treatment oil with Moroccan oil. So you can put this throughout all of your hair and put on a shower cap, wait 30 minutes, and then wash it out, and it's a nice little treatment moment. Or you can style with it, either on wet or dry hair. Super versatile. And I like using oils on a hairstyle like this because that moisture goes a long way towards the look and feel of the hair and having it look great all day long. So I'm gonna put it in right now. Got a nice couple pumps, putting it over my hands, putting it into the hair. Focusing on the ends first, and then what's left over is gonna go farther up the hair. Just get that part line a little bit, get those thirsty pieces around the face, and then grab the boar bristle brush and brush it through and get everything nice and aligned. A boar bristle brush helps to align the cuticles of your hair, so it goes that extra mile when you're really going for smoothness. And obviously you can leave it down, but another thing I'm loving with straight hair right now is tucking one side back. So there you go, there's our straight, smooth, shiny look. I think this is the way a lot of us use our flat iron, but I wanted to give you a couple extra tips and tricks that can help you make it even more your own if you're looking for that. Today, we're doing Beachy Waves with a flat iron. I'm particularly excited because that was the first hairstyle I worked on learning with this guy after I cut my hair. I actually posted a picture of it on Instagram, and a lot of you guys were asking for a tutorial, so here it is. So first things first, heat protectant. Do a quick little brushy, and we're gonna section the hair, leaving just the nape of the neck down. Clippy. Okay, now for these hairs, depending on how long they are, you might be able to put a tiny bend in them. Mine are just long enough, but if your hair is shorter, you can skip this section. All we're really gonna do is put the iron in and turn it and slide it. That's all. Just wanna get a little bend in there so we don't have beachy waves everywhere and then like stick straight pieces or whatever at the bottom. That was easy. Let's keep moving. And sectioning. Just gonna let my hair from the ears down, and then everything else is going up. So now, the method. There's several. There's a few different ways to get beachy waves with a flat iron. My favorite thing to do is to have a few different methods and mix them all together. Just kind of like put them all in a bowl and shake them up, and then you get your perfect beachy waves. Let me show you a few of these methods. Number one, if you've watched any of these videos before, you're probably familiar with, is the S wave, where you just put the iron in and you rock it back and forth. So you can go out, and then in, and then out, and you have an S wave. And when you do that, you can either open the iron or leave it closed the entire time. Depends on your preference. Now this is a lot of look. I don't know that I would do it all over. For a more natural looking wave, you can actually make an X with your flat iron and your hair. So before we did kind of a plus sign and rocked back and forth, now you're gonna do an X. And that's gonna create a little bit of a curl. So we've got our X, and slide it away from the face. Then put it back in, turn it towards the face. Then last little bit can go away. Another way you could think of it is this way the iron is horizontal, this way the iron is more vertical. So you can see this one's a little bit more of kind of a natural wave look. And then the final little piece to the puzzle is that you can mix the two. So let's say at the top, you do your little X, rotate it away from the face and get a nice little curl in that way. And then you can go in horizontally and rock it back and forth. And that way there's some rotation to it, but there's also that extra like pop to it. So those are our ingredients. We're gonna throw them all into this hairstyle however you want to. Literally just do a jazz solo with these techniques. If you only want to do one, I would recommend this one just because it is the most natural looking. And as soon as you get the hang of it, you can do it fairly quickly. I'm just gonna go through and wave this section using all the different methods. I'll probably alternate directions here and there. And I think the biggest thing is you just wanna make sure that it's all got kind of its own beat to it, so each piece doesn't follow the same wave pattern. And that way from the front you get all these different textures. All right, next section. And now we're just gonna keep going. Another couple things you can think about with this method is first, it is easier to go in smaller sections. They're much more sculptable when they're small than if you're taking big sections. And in the long run, that saves you time because you're not going in and retouching as many pieces. Can I just say another reason I'm excited to be working with CVS is that they came out last year with their Beauty Mark initiative. And essentially, they have committed to not materially altering photos in any way. So that means they don't change body proportions. They don't remove lines or wrinkles. They don't change skin tone. The photo that's shot is the photo that you see when you're shopping in store. And you can tell because there's a little Beauty Unaltered logo up at the top. And then if there is, for some reason, a photo that has been materially altered in any way, it says digitally altered at the bottom. And I cannot tell you how much I love that when I'm shopping for cosmetics, because how many times have we seen pictures of eyelashes in a mascara ad where you're like, that's probably not real. Now you know. It's another reason. I mean, obviously I've shopped there forever. That's where I used to use all like the Beauty Insider deals to buy makeup back in the day when I could not afford makeup at all. But also they're like a really cool company and they're doing great stuff. And that is the wave. Hey-oh. Now, this already looks pretty great and there's like a little bit of my own natural texture coming through, but I'm gonna texturize it even more because GSQ by Glam Squad has a really great volumizing texture spray. This helps to build volume and texture and it does a good job at it. And I find on my hair, a little goes a long way. In the best way. Sometimes I really have to load up the texturizing spray to get the effect I'm going for. Just a little bit of this one and you're good to go. So this is going at my roots primarily. There we go. Got the texture, gonna put some over here now. Boop, 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 boop. You can also like flip your head over and put it in. And then just for the ends, I'm gonna grab some more of that treatment oil because you can always use more treatment oil. Just gonna put a little squirt of this into my hands and run it over my ends because I like texture a lot. But I find with my hair this length, I like to make sure that my ends are still looking nice and hydrated. Then if you have a little bit left over on your hands, you can put it over specific pieces to tame them down a little bit more. And once you do, this hairstyle is complete. This might be one of those that takes a little bit more practice at first for you, but the overall method is really cute and effortless looking. I think if you have any natural wave to your hair, it can be a really great way just to augment what you already have going on and get you out the door even a little faster. And now today it's time for kind of your everyday curls, just the normal curls you can do with the straightener. And we're gonna talk through kind of the best ways to do that as we do this, because you might be familiar with the method, but I've got some tips and tricks, so we're going to talk about it. First things first, I'm taking the heat protectant and I'm going to work that through my hands and through my hair. That already took down some of like the frizzy puff at the end of my hair. Hey! Now we're going to section the hair from the ears up, and I have my flat iron on and heated up, ready to go. So essentially what we're going to do here is you're going to be clamping the iron onto the hair, rotating it 180 to 360 degrees and pulling it through. So you clamp it on, you twist it around, and you slide it through. And you have a curl. So these are the very shortest little bitty sections. So I'm not gonna get too fancy with these. We're just gonna do the basic way through here just because you want a little bend to all of the hair. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. When you're learning a new technique with a hot tool, it is not a bad idea to practice it without the tool on first. Now let's let down another section of hair. I'm just gonna pick up the stuff that's right around my part, leave everything else down. Okay, now that we're getting towards the longer stuff, we're gonna adjust the method very slightly. Because here's the deal. Your hair typically does taper and get a little bit thinner as you get towards the ends, partially because of the way hair is typically cut, and partially because you're gonna have a little bit of breakage and the hair just naturally ends up tapering. Well, because your hair is thinner on the ends than it is at the roots, it's gonna take the curl better. So, basically what we wanna do is focus on maybe going a little bit more slowly through this section of the hair and then speed up through this section of the hair. Because that way you're gonna get an even curl all the way through instead of having really tight, ringlety bits at the end and then barely any curl up top. We don't want that. The benefit of going slow as well is that you get plenty of time to turn the iron around. Just take your time. And then when you see a little bit sticking out the end, just whoop, and you have a nice even curl all the way down. There, you can see you have a nice pretty curl that's even throughout, where you've got this nice ridge up here, you've got the volume, you've got the curl down here, and this one, it's a lot flatter, and then it's a tiny little ringlet at the end. So we want this, which is why we go slow, quick, instead of quick, slow. And Laura said it sounds like you're teaching ballroom dancing in there. It is kind of dancing with your hair and a flat iron. And I'm using my second hand on that slide out because I feel like it's getting me a little bit more quick and even through the end of the hair, because I don't want to get snagged on anything. I don't want it to accidentally move slowly. So putting my second hand there and then just kind of pushing it through ensures a really smooth glide through that last bit of the hair. Okay, now we just have this last section. And now we basically do the exact same thing again. If your haircut is anything like mine, this hair is actually even longer, so it gives you even more to work with as you do your slow and quick. And for my front pieces, I like to pull them forward when I do them so that I get a little bit more swoopy action. And now let's comb through with the fingers. Now for me, I feel like this ridge is coming in really tight. If you wanted to like brush through this and have it be like a retro look, you absolutely could. It's not a bad look, but I'm going for a little bit more every day. So what I'm gonna do is just tap over these kind of tight pieces to loosen them up. See, and that is a lot more gentle on the face than it was before. I want just a couple pieces to mix it up a little bit. So I'm gonna go in and pull just a couple small pieces right around my part. I'm gonna see if I can just tighten them up a lot right here at the base and then let it off. And I might just loosen up right here. This is just me finessing it for what I like on me. Hello, everyone. Anna Laura heard me teaching this method and she was like, wait. I was like, wait, I need to try this. Come here. What? It's so perfectly curled. Okay, but not too bad. All in all,
Not bad.
I did pretty
I mean,
well.
for your very first try, that was great.
I'm gonna try one more piece.
Okay.
Oh, she's hooked now.
I did it!
You did it!
It's so
On your
beautiful.
second try.
I'm leaving now. That was my... I have 3 curls in my hair.
Bye! Now that we've put all this in, and it looks great, and we want it to stay all day long, hairspray. I'm using the GSQ by Glam Squad Stronghold Hairspray, because obviously we want some strong hold. Can't avoid the elements, humidity, wind, rain, to name a few culprits, but you can work against them. And not only is this a stronghold hairspray, it has UV protectants to protect your hair and your hair color from the sun. There you go, everyday curls with a flat iron. Today we are tackling the flipped out hair trend, which I am all about, and we are starting with my natural, untamed texture. She's coming through today. First things first, let's turn on our flat iron. On. And let's add in some heat protectant. Now we grab our sectioning clips. I'm gonna leave down just the littlest bittiest bits at the bottom for this one. Twist and clip everything else up. And now we create the flip out. You're basically just putting the iron through the hair and flipping out at the ends. It's not that hard, but there are some things that we wanna do and not do to make it look its best. So you're taking it through basically straight, and then at the end you're gonna do a 45-degree tilt, and that's basically your flip right there. You might be tempted to go like this. Don't. It's all in the bend, so you're going straight, 45 degrees, drag it over the ends, and that's your flip. The name of the game for this hairstyle is moderation. And now we let down the next section. So we're gonna take down the hair, let about an inch more of hair down, and secure everything else out of the way. Also, just to make sure everything is nice and smooth, you can grab that boar bristle brush and run it through. Right, and now we repeat the same thing again. Go straight, and then like a Hot Wheels track, we flip at the end. And we repeat. And next section. We're just moving on through this. Another option you can use that you might find even easier depending on your hair type is just to go ahead and slide through the whole thing at that 45-degree angle. So you clip the hair in and slide it down like that all the way through. You're just gonna end up with a little flip at the ends still, and it can be a little easier than trying to time the turn correctly. But it's gonna depend on your hair type. So play around with both methods and see which one works best for you. And last section. Okay, so for this one, it's basically the same thing, but for the stuff in the front, we're gonna pull it forward first and then let it go back. That way we get a little bit better face framing. Forward, I'm gonna just do the diagonal all the way down and let it flip at the ends. Gonna let that cool for a second, and then use my fingers to brush it over here on this side, and that way you get that little like swoop in the front and it flips out at the side. Everything else we're gonna keep doing the same way. Pretty easy method if I do say so. And now from here you might think this looks a little funny. Well, I have to say I haven't seen a lot of people wearing this trend just plain. So first option, tuck one side behind the ear, sweep this over. I like that it's round because at the end I can just kind of curl it and go whoop. Just because my section right here isn't quite long enough to make it with everything else, I'm going to go a little bit rogue. I'm gonna brush it forward, and then we're gonna go a little crazy. We're actually gonna bend it toward the face slightly and slide it down. Pull it off, sweep it on over. And we can use the Stronghold hairspray. That hairspray works, look at that. Just gonna hold that there, bring the end in with everything else. I'm also gonna add a little bit more hairspray right here, just to sleek and flip. So there's the first way you can wear it. It's a little 2000s, a little 60s, a little awesome. And then for the way that you might be a little bit more familiar with this style, we've got half up, half down, which I actually wore recently and you saw on my Instagram. So for that, I do recommend going through and doing all of your hair like this before doing the half up, half down. Just gets everything really ready to go. Once you've got that, you're gonna section your hair from your ears to wherever you want your ponytail to sit, which for me is right here. And then use a brush with some boar bristles, like this one, to brush everything back nice and smoothly. And then we are gonna do this again after we secure it, but before you secure it, hit it with a little bit of hairspray. And then while the hairspray is still setting, use your hand to smooth it back. Once you have everything where you want it, secure it with an elastic. Gonna flip this forward, brush the rest of this hair back, make sure it's all nice and smooth. Then, smooth out the ponytail and back comb a bit. You can use any brush for this, and it will work. Then we just smooth over the top to make it look not crazy. And then if you need, which I do, you can flip out the ends. So I'm just going to take everything together, take the iron over, and flip the ends out. And then we want everything to stay in place, so I'm gonna hit it one more time with the Stronghold hairspray. And there you go, a very modern and cute half up, half down hairstyle. Now, I know this one is a look. Some of you guys will love, some maybe not, but I personally love it. Well, hello, another day, another method. For our last method of this video, I'm gonna show you a barely there bend, and it's my favorite because I can do this so quickly. This is good for first day hair if you've like spent all your time blow drying your hair and now you have 0.2 seconds but your hair looks like this. Or third day hair and you just want a little something but you don't want to actually do all that much. This is what you do. First things first, we always use our heat protectant. And now we're just gonna section the hair from the ears up. So our goal for this section is that the ends are straight and that these longer pieces have a barely bend to them, but everything back here, we just kind of want to make sure there's no super kinky curly bits. We want to make sure there's no weird things happening. So we're just going to run the flat iron over it really quick. If you have curly wavy hair, a good option for this would be to use your hairbrush to get your hair mostly straight while you're drying it, and then you can go over and do all these things to kind of tame it the rest of the way. Kind of what I'm doing today. Like, my hair is not naturally curly or wavy, but I did dry it poofy, so you get like a little like miniature version of it from me. All right, that's it for that whole nape section. Easy peasy. Now for the barely bend. So you're gonna turn the iron to about 120 degrees, slide, and then at the end, go back to straight. Basically, you go here, seesaw it over, go back to straight, and you have a little bend. I think on different hair types, different angles will work. So for some of you guys, it might be like a 90-degree angle. For some of y'all, you might need to go all the way to 120, 180, play around with it. Now we're gonna let down the next section. And some days, I'll be real honest, I just let down this whole thing and I go in chunks and I go really fast. Because if you're doing a very slight wave and the rest of your hair is straight, then you only have to put in a couple bends, you're good to go. I'm gonna show you the most extreme version of this, but just know you can cut it down to being that easy, where you drop this down, you turn this into 5 sections, you do your little bend, and you're done. And we're just gonna keep doing the same method. Straighten, let's do 90 degrees this time, and straight. And then the next way you can up your game on this is to actually have your iron diagonally through here, still twist 90 degrees and go back to straight, but placing it diagonally gets you this kind of curl rather than just kind of a zigzag formation. There's just so many things you can do with the straightener, y'all. So we have it diagonally, turning it 90, sliding through, turning straight, letting it go. And you've got that cute little bend. There you go, you can kind of see the before and after there. I love. And now we're bringing down this last section, and as with everything else, I'm bringing the hair forward so that when I curl it, it swoops back. Final tip on this is that the more vertical your iron is, the more spirally the curl is gonna be, the more kind of ringlety. And in general, on this top section, you're trying to match that bend to where you placed it before if you did the 2 sections. If you're just doing one big section, you can skip that tip. But if you place the bend right about here on our last section, you want to slide the iron down so that the bend happens again at the same point. Oh, you know, one more good tip here as well. Because this section is longer, it's okay for the bending portion of the slide to be longer as well. So if you're like dividing it into 3, so you've got 1, 2, 3, that third takes up more space on this section of hair than it did on the one before because it's longer. So it's okay if you're sliding with it curled a little bit longer than you were on the last section. And now we have the little bend in here. I love. You can choose to leave it. It's kind of sleek right now. Normally I wear this very textured, but she's looking good. That being said, I like to wear this texturized, so I'm gonna grab the volumizing texture spray and load my roots up with it. All right, so here's a little like side by side. You got like the texturized and the non-texturized. All right, same thing over here. And then while I do love texture at my roots, I also like some smoothness at my ends. So I'm gonna grab the treatment oil. We're gonna put that on my ends. I'm also gonna put it over these front pieces of hair because they're being a little silly today. And there is your barely there wave. I am here for it. This has saved me so many times because I am perpetually running late to things, and this is just like 3 seconds, my hair looks cute, and I'm ready to go. And that has been 5 different ways you can use your flat iron. I hope that you enjoyed it. This was super fun for me to film. Let me know if you'd like to see more videos like this with maybe a curling iron or different techniques of any kind. Would love to know your thoughts. I also want to say a big thank you to CVS for sponsoring this video. I am so grateful to get to work with them. Not only have I shopped at CVS for years and years and years, but it's a company that I feel really good standing with. Thanks guys for sponsoring my video and keeping the lights on over here in the Kayley Melissa household, because we need that. With that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please click that like button to help support my channel. If you're new here, you can hit that subscribe button to join the Braidaholic family here on Kayley Melissa. And all of y'all can hit that bell icon so you can be notified every time I post a new video. But that's it for today. Whether you're old or new or a casual lurker, thank you for spending time with me, and I'll see you in my next video. Mwah! Bye! Woke up from a nap to film this. I'm mostly kidding, but also not. Mercury is finally out of retrograde and I am living. What are words? Let's just shake the head. Get the cobwebs out. Today is one of those days where words and sentences just don't want to form together.